Hello, Assalamu alaikum, how are you? Welcome back to Talkabout with Shabnam Riaz. Today we're going to be talking about the art of conversation. Yes, conversation is an art, but unfortunately, many people don't realize that. Conversation is something we take part in every day. Why is it important? Why is it important for us to get the necessary information across? Why is it important for us to be focused? We'll find out all about that. One of the main problems in a conversation is people talking endlessly about themselves. And then it is not a conversation, it actually becomes a monologue. Have you ever been in that situation before? I have, and trust me, it is one of the boring and torturous things that you could ever be a part of. And well, basically you're not really a part of it. You're an audience. You're a one-member audience who's listening to a person going on and on and on. And that is the one of the, number one do not do this flags in a conversation, which is don't make a conversation all about yourself. What you are basically doing is that you're disrespecting the other person who has taken out the time to sit down with you, to spend their time with you. So if you endlessly just keep talking about yourself during that conversation, then, the other person is going to wonder, what am I even doing here? If I wanted to listen to something like this, I could have put on a podcast, I could have turned on the radio. Conversation is about two people contributing to an exchange. So make sure that you are including the other person in that conversation. Why is it important to include them? Well, you're giving them, as I said before, respect and value. You're acknowledging their presence. You are also telling them that you are interested in what is happening in their lives. That is why a conversation takes place. It's an exchange of information. It has to be balanced. Wherever a conversation is going to consist of one person basically yapping and the other person yawning, well, that is going to tell you that there is not going to be a second meetup. If you find you are losing your friends, if you find that, you meet with somebody and then the first meeting, according to you, goes very well, and every time you phone them up or try to schedule another meeting, it's not happening. Well, think back to what was said in that conversation. How much of a chance did you give another person to talk about? And definitely think about how many times you ask them questions about themselves. Another tip, you're hosting a small dinner party, a small get-together in your home. You've got quite a few people coming around, or maybe it's a closer sort of an amount of 3 or 4 guests, and maybe they know each other, maybe they don't. You're the host, so it's your responsibility to carry on a conversation. It's sort of like you're a host for a television show, and you've got to keep the conversation flowing, the program flowing, and you've got to keep everyone interested. One of the most important things that we tend to forget in a conversation is actually the part of listening. Yes, saying nothing, listening to the other person, giving them that due respect, giving them that importance that you are paying attention. What with technology, mobile phone in your hand, phone calls coming in, and other things to distract you, it is very, very easy to lose the thread of the conversation by being distracted by something else. And that is a definite no-no in the art of conversation. In fact, that is the ruin of conversation, where you find somebody who is trying to talk to you and you are actually being rude by looking at your phone or looking here and there, and not actually paying attention by listening. What you should be doing is maintain eye contact so they know that you are receiving that information. And if you think that there is something that you can add right there, or if it's a sort of a casual sort of thing that they're saying, you may want to add something, say something, but not interrupting. So there's a fine balance there, and it all comes with practice. We love to talk. You can see this on television channels. You can see this on people who are sort of like talking on the street, in groups, anywhere. People will be constantly talking over each other. That is not a good thing at all. Interrupting someone while they are speaking and they haven't finished what they are speaking is a terrible thing to do. But then if you see everybody else doing that, then you're not really realizing what a mistake it is. So give the other person respect, let them finish what they're saying. And if it is a huge monologue, well, then maybe you could interrupt politely. But otherwise, the best thing is to stay engaged and be a good listener. It's a very, very important part of the art of conversation and something we tend to forget. Now, being tolerant of another person's views. We're all different. We all have many different opinions, many different mindsets. And, once you think to yourself that, okay, I am right, and this is my defined version of the world and how things should be. If you behave like that, well, you're not going to have many friends, because everyone is entitled to their own opinion. And as long as it's not offensive, you should hear them out and you should have an open mind. The topics of politics and religion in a conversation are usually not good ones. Those are something you should stay clear of, because people tend to have very fixed and very strong views about that. So you will find that if you include these topics in a dinner party or a relaxed meetup or something like that, you're bound to ruffle a few feathers and people are going to get annoyed, offended, or offend other people. You don't want that happening when you've got a gathering of, say, people where you want to just relax and have fun and a good chat, a good evening. So those are some of the things that you might want to stay away from. Conversation should not be a battle. Sometimes we do see that going on. Egos clash. A person maybe misunderstands something that the other person is saying, and you maybe witness to two people sort of having a verbal battle in front of you. Not something that is very harsh, but you can tell that they're trying to outdo the other with some other sort of information or just bragging about something. Now imagine how torturous that is, how boring that is, and how counterproductive that is. People don't want to be witness to that. You shouldn't indulge yourself in something like that. If you see somebody is saying something where you find that they're, bragging, showing off, or saying something to put somebody else down, maybe the best thing to do is not to give that person that much attention, because how long will they go on for it? And if you have other people in the group, introduce a new subject. Take away the power from that person. Some people have problem in carrying on a conversation. So a few tips are that, if you're staying ahead of world events, what's going on, what the sort of current situation in the world is, topics of interest, have yourself armed with facts, so that when you sit in a conversation where people are maybe spreading misinformation or quoting things that aren't true, you will be the empowered one, because you will have knowledge and you will have facts. And if you quote, I think there's nothing more impressive than a person who has the right facts and can quote them at a suitable time in a conversation. Also, the tone of your voice, keep it friendly, keep it open. Try not to get emotionally invested or sort of angry or irritated at somebody else. Keep yourself in control and make sure that you are allowing other people to contribute as well. I hope that these tips have been somewhat helpful for you, and this is some of the things that you pick up on the way in the journey of life, how you have made mistakes maybe, and they're easy to rectify. Sometimes we're just unaware of what we're doing. So if you enjoyed this video, please do click the like button. If you want to subscribe to the channel, go ahead and do so. And I will see you next week with another topic. Bye bye.